Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Dean Callan Show. I should say good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binaries, and anyone else who doesn't even consider themselves either a lady or a gentleman. Like, you could be a reprobate. Good morning. A scumbag. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be doing some high-class fizzes, I guess. You could call it the highest of all high class. Literally, this is going to be like an, how do I describe it? Evangelical fizz? Is that what you would call it? Like, how do you describe, at what level is a benedictine monk? That's my question, right? Are they like better than everybody else? Like, are they wrong? I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe wait until you die, and then you'll find out whether or not the Benedictine monks had it figured out, and like God is taking care of them, and they're all drinking Trappist beers, sitting around in their gardens, not talking to each other, or we had it right, and they should have just gone out and got loud, you know? Anyway, for those of you that don't know what Buckfast is, I was lucky enough to go to Cornwall last week, and when I went to Cornwall, I discovered on the way to Cornwall that there's a Buckfast Abbey, and like, it's pretty fucking fancy. The Buckfast Abbey is really fancy. So I went in there, I checked it out. Turns out they sell loads of cool Trappist beers. I was gonna bring some of those Trappist beers back and like show them to you on the show, but I drank them. I spilled some of them, but I drank them. Yeah, so I did make it back with a small bottle of Buckfast. So I'm going to taste Buckfast today, and I'm going to describe to you just how amazing this Benedictine monk made Buckfast is. Now, I don't know how old Buckfast is, but like the Buckfast Abbey is over 1,000 years old. Like, that's old. I don't care who you are. Like, one building constantly running for 1,000 years, that's super old. Right, so, gonna taste this today. I'm gonna make a fizz out of it because I figure, does Buckfast have a classic cocktail that it goes in? I don't know. So, I'm gonna make a fizz, and we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I'm gonna drink some Guinness, I'm gonna chat some shit, I'm gonna try to kind of figure out what this tastes like, because it's obviously super fancy and complex. But what are the key flavor profiles? I don't know. Also, while I was there, I got this guy, and I've actually never opened one of these, never mind opened it and tasted it just to see how potable and how nice it is. It was they had it for sale in the shop. Also, not for sale in the shop, but worth throwing in. I've decided, I talked about this many a times, starting a book club. I've decided to start an actual book club, just me. But every week, because I like doing the show. I'm excited about doing the show. I was pumped for the last half hour about doing the show. I'm getting more and more excited as I got closer to airtime, as I now call it airtime. You know, I'm talking to myself. Also, all my screens stopped just before I started, so I can't see myself, whether or not this is even on air. Whatever. Yeah, so I'm going to read this book this week, and next week, hopefully, if I can, you know, have some consistency, feedback on whether or not it's worth buying, right? But if you want to just buy it, you could literally just buy it. Anyway, if not, let's get started. Now, first of all, I'm going to fix my screens because it's throwing me way off that the screens are all messed up, right? There we go. Screen's kind of fixed. Now, for those of you that don't know how to make a fizz is pretty simple. It's basically like a sour with some soda in it. Speaking of which, do I have soda? I don't know. So, start with your lemon juice. Obviously, there are different types of fizz. So, you can't, like a Ramos gin fizz, you use the combination of lemon and lime. Because it's got cream in it, because it's got orange blossom, it benefits greatly from the addition of some lime juice, malic acid in there, and gives it a kind of a sherbety fizz taste. But your standard fizz, and in this case, actually, I'm gonna make a silver fizz. So I'm not making a standard fizz, but whatever, it's a fizz. Your standard fizz would be lemon juice, sugar or sugar syrup, the base ingredient. So, I mean, if you're making a brandy fizz, you would put brandy as your base ingredient. If you're making a whiskey fizz, whiskey, gin fizz, vodka fizz, tequila fizz, whatever. A Fernet fizz, there you go. Guess what? It's Fernet as your base. Now, how much lemon juice am I getting out of these? These are the hardest lemons in the history of hard lemons. God, if these lemons had names, you'd have to give them names of like hard people. Like this is the chopper lemon. You know, for those of you that know Australia, Chopper Reeves, met him once. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's a crazy person. Like, nice when you meet him. I met him when he was old and not angry or dangerous. But, you know, he spent some time in prison and he was pretty bloody crazy, I would say. Bloody crazy. So you got your lemon juice. In this case, I got some egg white here. Sugar syrup. We're using our Funkin' sugar syrup. And, of course, Buckfast. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to taste my Buckfast, because how many of you, be honest, have actually poured Buckfast and had a taste, swirled it around in their mouth, and tried to pick out, like a professional, those intricate details, those finer flavors? Like, what sort of wine do we think it's made from? I mean, it says tonic wine on the bottle, but it says little else. Like, now, don't get me wrong. I'm a person that loves knowledge. I don't want to kind of preach to people about stuff on this, but, you know, on the bottle, which is important. It's important to just look at what's on the bottle. It says, the name tonic wine does not imply health-giving or medicinal properties. That's a shame, right? It's got a picture of some purple grapes, some really purple grapes. Now, I'm going to play a video soon for you guys because, you know, that's how lovely a person I am. I actually made a video. In fact, I made a video moments before coming live. I couldn't get any of my videos that I made on my phone to fucking work because Apple are a bunch of scumbags. Despite having 220 megabits per second internet connection, which I tested, I still couldn't download the videos that I made. One of them was 4 seconds long and it took ages. I could play them, but could I download them and put them into Final Cut Pro? No. What's the use of having a 4K video if you can't do anything with it? Anyway, that's beside the point. What I figured out was that if I turned my phone sideways and just pressed play on all of them and swiped, I more or less made a video without having to edit it. Yeah, that worked. So, Buckfast tonic wine. The name tonic wine does not imply health-giving or medicinal properties. Made by the Benedictine monks, Buckfast Abbey, Devon, England. I went there. It's great. Look, it's beautiful. Like, there's no denying Buckfast Abbey is absolutely gorgeous. I think it would be a great place to host a bar show. Right? We could call it Buckfest. It'd be amazing. Bottled by J. Chandler & Co., Buckfast, Limited, New Abbey House, Fifield Road, Weyhill, Andover, SP11 8DN. Do they need to put that on the bottle? Look, when I asked the lady in the shop of information, where do I go and do a tour, what's in it, she said, we don't like to advertise that we make Buckfast. And I was like, do you sell t-shirts or anything? And she said, no. I was expecting to get a Buckfast t-shirt. Wasn't going to happen. And then it's got this Buckfast registered trademark with the like horns and stuff. Wine aperitif, 99.28%. Now, 99.28%, I don't know, is that 99.28% wine? I hope so. But, or is it 99.28% wine-based aperitif? It says high caffeine content, 30 milligrams per 100 mils. Not recommended for children or pregnant or breastfeeding women, contains sulfites. That's everything. Now it says on the back, drink responsibly, blah, 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 blah. 5.25 units, you know. Now, what does it taste like? I'm not gonna lie. It smells like It actually smells really tasty. But it does kind of smell like if a wine and a vermouth got together with like the purple flavor that represents grape, and they had a threesome, and you weren't sure which one was the dad, but this was the baby. That's what it'd be like. It's sweet, it's approachable. It's not particularly bitter. I can't pick out any flavors. No. I'm gonna say it tastes like Buckfast. Now, if you guys want to see the video that I made, here's the video of me at Buckfast. I'm gonna explain it for you.
Hi everybody, my name is Sergio and I own Funky Dory in Peckham, South London.
Coronavirus!
Okay, both of those were the wrong videos. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but I'm gonna try this one now. Alright, cool. Wow. So this is a picture of Daniel Nevsky. It was the first picture that came up. Here's their wall at Buckfast. They have a wall of Trappist beer. Good Trappist beer. There's a nice selection. They don't have Westvleteren, but they did have this. This was creamy and delicious and had a chocolate note to it. I bought that, of course. There's their wall of Buckfast. I mean, they're clearly fans. They have loads of Buckfast. And then this is a new Trappist. I bought that. It's okay. It's not as good as the previous one. That's the map of the whole Buckfast Abbey, right? I mean, I'm scrolling through my photos here. There's the sign, 1018 to 2018. They've been around for 1,000 years. Well, they were 2 years ago. This wouldn't load, but that's my wife, my baby, and my mother-in-law. Check out, look at the Abbey. How cool is the Abbey? Abbey's huge. It's gigantic. I like, they do a good job of taking care of the grounds. That's me with my son. Look, he learned to wave. How cool is that? He's so good at waving. Like, and this is a hornet. Giant fucking hornet. Like, look at the size of that thing. I guess you got nothing to compare it to, so you can't see how big it is, but it was like that big. It looked like a murder hornet. At least the UK's version of a murder hornet. Maybe like a beat up or stab hornet. I would call it a stab hornet. This is the gardens, like more gardens. Look at how nice the gardens are. I'm skipping through these photos real quick because I want you to understand that they have some nice gardens there. Wouldn't it be a nice place to have like a bartender convention? We could call it Buckfest. I probably moved too fast through these. I moved through them as quick as I got bored. That's their little garden area. Look how cool the stag thing is. Wow, I'm terrible at zooming in on my own photos. That's my son, and that's the end. Dean's Weekly News. There was really nothing to that, but that's what Buckfast looks like. Right, so how do you make a Buckfast Fizz, you ask? What's happened to these? How do you make a Buckfast Fizz? Yeah, good question. I'm going to show you. You start with a cocktail shaker. This is a 2-piece, bottom of a Corico. We're going to put 1 part. What the fuck happened to all my damn jiggers? All right, we're going to put 1 part lemon juice. Ooh. And because, like, when you're making a fizz, right, you want it to be on a little bit more on the citrusy side, in my opinion, or at least balanced. Buckfast has sweetness. So I'm not going to put 1 part sugar. I'm going to put, like, half a part sugar, right? A little over half a part. Now, egg white. I'm just going to use the whole of what's left of the egg white. I've been making drinks all afternoon. That's why I'm so like pumped about doing this whole show. Is my mic actually working? Yeah, all right. It looks like it's working. Right, so I got this nice little mix in here. I'm going to put 2 parts of Buckfast. Now. Yeah, there we go. 2 parts of Buckfast. Right, so you got 1 part lemon. 1 part, well, usually I'd put 1 part sugar. In this case, I'm putting half a part sugar. I'm going to give it a taste. Right? So when you're using a premium Benedictine monk made liqueur. Like, would you call it a Trappist liqueur? I don't know. But when you're making a premium product, premium fizz, always make sure that the base ingredient is key to the fizz, okay? In this case, because of the addition of egg white, it's really like a silver fizz. And 1 second. Now, let's see what that does as far as the audio is concerned. I don't know if that's made the audio better or it's killed it, but I just seen red lights flashing, so I just went over and dealt with it. Now, there's some people that argue that one massive chunk of ice is better, but I don't know. I'm thinking 2 medium chunks or multiple little small chunks. You know, you could do your own thing. I think that only works with beer, but it sounds amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. How long ago was that the works with beer thing works? Anyway, right. Top off the shaker. I'm not gonna dry shake it. I'm just gonna shake it really hard because I'm excited. Uh-oh. No, fizz glass is cold. Damn it, Dean. You're an amateur. Look at amateur hour here. All right. Well, in this case, hopefully amateur half hour. I haven't eaten all day. I'm looking forward to getting some dinner in, getting some chicken in my belly. It's my favorite. I love chicken. Chicken is literally, but if I could describe myself as a thing, I'd be mostly chicken. Well, you know, you are what you're made of type thing. I'd be mostly chicken. Right. Fizz glass. Ooh. Kind of looks like a flip because the Buckfast is so dark. Ooh. I wonder what this is going to taste like. I hope it tastes good. Right, so bit of soda. If I can find any fucking soda. No. Doesn't look like there's soda in this particular one. Right. You know what? When in doubt, compromise. Right? Fizz traditionally use soda. For this, I'm just gonna have to compromise because I don't have time. I don't have time to mess around. I don't want to waste your time. Your time is money. You could be doing stuff. Doesn't taste bad. Let's have a look. Oh, wait, maybe I'll put a little twist on it to give it some zing. Some extra, like, pizzazz. Let's have a look. Yeah. Oh, that lemon smell's definitely going to complement this. It's going to taste amazing, I'm sure of it. It's settling like a pint of Guinness. Look at that. What is that? I fine strain it because that super hard shake puts loads of little bits in it, and also if you look, well, you can't see, can you? But for me, if you're going to have loads of foam on the top of a drink and you want it to settle really evenly without any big bubbles, and it works for espresso as well, because obviously espresso you get like loads of foam, I fine strain it and I leave the strainer like nice and close to the top, centering it all the way, and then right at the end take it off and you get this dead clean foam at the top. It's like, it's sharper, if that makes sense. It's like the difference between 125 thread count bed sheet and a 400 thread count bed sheet, or an 800 thread count bed sheet. You know, so it's about, like, I would call it the bead count. Yeah. Whoa. Look at the size of that foam. Have they got foaming agent built into this stuff? Like, look at this. Look. Look at that. That's a lot of foam. And it's thick. It's like maybe Buckfast is proteinaceous. There's only one way to know. Yep, you guessed it. I'm going to try to make another fizz just to see if without the egg white, it's still going to be foamy. Let's have a look. Do I have another fizz glass? Yeah. And this time, I'm going to try to frickin' chill it so Mitch doesn't give me shit about being an amateur. Speaking of which, Mitch, who would normally be on the show, if anyone that's watching has seen the show before, he didn't answer the phone today, so no Mitch's Minute today. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Right, so another shaker. Now, I don't know how much lemon juice I got left, but there you go, 3/4 of an ounce. Which means I'm going to put half of that of sugar syrup. I use the Funkin' sugar syrup for two reasons. First of all, Funkin' send me some sugar syrup, which is really nice of them. And secondly, it's my home bar, so I'm out here once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, which kind of makes it a situation whereby I need to not have things out here that go off. I'm going to put a little bit more Buckfast in this one than I did the last one. I don't have any egg white in it. I've still got the dry down there as opposed to the soda, but that's not going to cause for it to foam up. I want to see whether or not this still foams up as much as that last one did. That last one was insanely foamy. Seemingly no reason. Yeah. Right. I'm still gonna double strain it, just so we can like clearly see they got the same amount of foam. There was a lot of foam caught in that strainer before, surprising amount. Yeah, see, maybe it's an interaction between the Buckfast and the egg white. It wasn't the Buckfast itself. That's pretty clear. Like, whatever it is with that egg white on that Buckfast, look at that. There was so much foam. Like, I could add this foam to that drink if I want. It's insane. Insanely foamy. Wow. Right. Let's see whether a straight fizz tastes the same with the egg. It's kind of set it off a little bit. Ooh, I like the foamy one better, not gonna lie. Oh, tasty. I sometimes dry shake when I don't know the egg white. If I think the egg white's not gonna hold up, but actually, I bartended at Milk and Honey, which they'd kill me for that. But I'd also bartended before I started working there, and there was no dry shake. It was just a matter of getting some aeration into the shake, and folding that air into it. So you didn't really need the dry shake. Fuck, that's drinkable. Wow. Buckfast Fizz. Who would have known? So have you ever heard of Buckfast? Let me know. Tell me what you think. I think it's great. Probably not good that I'm drinking a whole bunch of it. Does it taste great with Guinness? Let's find out. Because I'm quite hyperactive. And the amount of caffeine mixed with alcohol in that, I guess it's like a vodka Red Bull, really. Probably not the best for me, but that tastes fucking delicious. Is this bartender ketchup, this stuff? I don't know. Right, speaking of bartender ketchup, let's taste this real quick. All right. Oh, tune. How do I get this fucking thing open? There we go. I wonder why it's in a wooden container like that. Is it? It doesn't. No, it's just for show. Has to be just for show. What's that thing? There's bits of wood falling out everywhere. All right. So, Elixir Vegetal. Right. All right, I've seen this before, obviously, but I mean, I'm still going to read the label. I think it's important to read the label. When I first started bartending in the 90s, we read the back of fucking labels. Like, we didn't have brand ambassadors coming in every day. Elixir Vegetal. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. De la Grande Chartreuse, and then FL, you know, the signature, whatever. 69%. 100 ml liqueur, digestif, fabrique, and whatever chartreuse. Made in France, basically. Got a green top. Looks pretty legit. It doesn't say how much caffeine's in there. So are these Benedictine monks missing something? Are they Benedictine monks? I'm pretty sure they're Benedictine monks, these guys. These monks are putting less caffeine in theirs because these monks have had to warn you about the level of caffeine. Even though when I went there, it was really quiet and polite. All right, what? Medieval bottle wrap. Oh, okay. Medieval bubble wrap. Pretty legit. I like this box. It's cool. Right. Fuck, that smells good. It makes me think of nuclear daiquiris and the last words. Oh, so many good nights. But if I were to compare it to normal green chartreuse, and when I say green chartreuse, like, it doesn't smell like yellow chartreuse. So normal green chartreuse is 55. Yeah. This is way more pronounced. Has more of an earthiness to it. It's like a concentrate almost. It's even darker. Ooh. So, if I were to describe the difference between these two, first of all, at 69%, this has got a lot more heat up front. But then, it's not just that. If you think of, like, when you get a really good quality perfume, right? Or cologne, or whatever way you want to brand it. When you get a really good smelly stuff and you put it on your skin, you get all those floral notes straight away, you get those high volatile notes straight away, but at the end of the day, you can tell when something's good, when at the very end, you've got woody, earthy, sandalwood, cedarwood, you've got a base, like, woody note to it. This, you taste that spicy woody note immediately after the heat dissipates. That's solid. It's really tasty. But it reminds me of perfume. I don't know why. Oh, I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's definitely a perfume that I've worn before that reminds me of. In a good way, in a very good way. Right, so that's some stuff that I said. Oh wow, this is so cool. All right, so Austin, legend, has given us some loads of information. Medieval bubble wrap, this stuff, medieval bubble wrap. That's why they put it in the bamboo box. That is their single distillate. Add a sugar cube. I don't have a sugar cube. Okay, if I feel pretty sweet about it, if that helps. And oh wait, I can add these to broadcast. Right. That's their single distillate. Right. Add a sugar cube. Distilled 5 times more and is about 60-ish years after veg was created. Ooh. There you go. The reg, green. I mean, that's what he said. Basically, I think, was that 60 years after? People, do your research. Don't trust what I say. Or even what Austin says. We could have been drinking before this show started, which, there's at least a 50% chance that both of us are drinking. Because I know I am. So that's 50%. Right, so, book club, right? Interesting thing. Next week, I've got an expert on gin coming into the cabin, and we're going to talk gin. But maybe we do it fortnightly. I don't know. How long does it take people to read books usually? I usually read through them and then kind of earmark them for reference so that I can put them into my library. And if I need some interesting facts on Canadian whiskey later on, I'll resort back to this book or refer back to this book. Haven't read this yet, but Wayne Gretzky said, "It's an exciting time for the Canadian whiskey market. There is such a great tradition as well as some amazing innovation surrounding Canadian whiskey, and this book is the ideal companion." Fucking Wayne Gretzky, right? Just hear me out here, right? A book. I like booze books as much as the next man, but a booze book where on the back, first quote is from Wayne Gretzky. The second is, "This comprehensive guide tells the fascinating story of Canadian whiskey, offers reliable reviews of dozens of bottles, and is an indispensable addition to any whiskey lover's library." Jason Horn. Playboy magazine. Right? Dave Wondrich, right? So Dave Wondrich was like, "Die Kergome Abbey demonstrates that Canadian whiskey is far more interesting and well-crafted spirit than it's given credit for being." Ooh, is that a backhanded compliment? Dave Wondrich, Esquire magazine, you know Dave Wondrich. And Dave Broom, legend. "Canadian whiskey makes you want to get a bottle and a glass, pour yourself a stiff one, sit back and dive in. I suggest you do exactly that." I mean, there's some pretty legit comments here. Wayne Gretzky at the top, followed by the Playboy guy, followed by Dave Wondrich, followed by Dave Broom. I mean, I'd put Dave Broom at the top and then keep the rest the same order. But I'm going to read this over the next, let's say 2 weeks. And next week, we've got a gin expert in. We're going to talk gin. And hopefully, if I can nail it down the following week, I'm going to have either a Canadian come in or a non-Canadian come in and talk about Canadian whiskey. Right? So one or the other. This has been Dean Callan. This has been the Dean Callan Show, where I just basically, apart from Austin, thank you so much, Austin, and obviously Ulrich, saying nice things. And yeah, rest in peace, Sasha. Yeah, I've just read that, legend. You guys say nice things. Oh, okay, so the veg was 130 years after they got the recipe, and the green is about 60-ish after that. Okay. Right, so anyway, moving on. I'm going to finish the show. I'm going to go eat some chicken. It's been lovely to do the show. Oh, hopefully see you guys next week. And if not, have a nice weekend. Stay safe. And yeah, Buckfast, try it out. I think this is nicer. More boozy, more caffeine. More booze, more caffeine. Yeah, and read this if you get a chance. Until next week. Outro.
You ordered what?